Howard's End revolves around the significance of places and the way that they inspire the people who inhabit them. The Schlegels, Margaret, Helen and Tibby, live in central London, in a space dominated by books and conversation.
Discussion keeps a house alive.
Wickham Place, their home, is an imaginary space created through an optical effect, resurrecting the sense of the real Wickham Place, which was demolished. The same will happen to the Schlegels in the film, which drives Ruth Wilcox to offer Margaret Howard's End.
We are fond of the house, but it is an ordinary London house. We shall easily find another.
No. Not in this world.
Howard's End itself is a modest house ensconced in luscious fields, greenery and flowers. For Ruth, the past is ever present, tied to that real space. Merchant Ivory play on this with their opening sequence, where Ruth looks in at the house from the outside, crystallising the narrative of her life as an external viewer. The existence of this place is a guarantee of her identity, of her ability to build a concrete self-image.
It makes one feel so unstable, impermanent, with houses being torn down on all sides.
Ruth insists on visiting Howard's End, but is thwarted, loses her strength and dies soon after. The decision to ignore her final wishes of giving Margaret the house is made in her old home. With the impending loss of Wickham Place, Margaret explores a vast empty flat on the recommendation of Mr. Wilcox. The silence and lack of books or decoration is a sharp point of difference to Wickham Place, belying the cold relationship between Margaret and Henry. Nevertheless, she agrees to marry him, implicitly for economic stability. The lower-class Basts have no such option. Their home, which has no name, is a small bedsit in a dark, smoky and rough area of London, illuminated by the industrial rhythm of passing trains. Leonard Bast spends precious little time there. Physically, he's in the large marbled rooms of the Ethical Hall or Porphyrion Insurance. In his mind, he's exploring an idyllic rural locale, finding freedom through adapting his own inner space. Bast is seduced by the idea of a rural past where he might find peace, and presumably freedom from economic concerns.
There, you see? It was ancestral voices calling you.
This vision returns again as he unknowingly walks to his death, to Howard's End. The imagined rural sequence contrasts with the sudden violence of his death. The vision's beauty doesn't protect Leonard, although his son may be able to live a better life in the vast fields of Howard's End, when they are finally left to his aunt at the end of the film. No mention is made of his wife Jackie, whose revelation that Henry was her former lover sits heavily on the mind of the modern viewer. Forster's world can accept a man who had an affair, but changing social mores means that Merchant Ivory find it much harder to excuse a rich older man abandoning a 16-year-old orphan who he's had a sexual relationship with. Jackie doesn't fit into the bucolic freedom of Howard's End, that cosy rural space outside of time, sequestered from change, and she's quietly dropped from the film. Howard's End, the place, has a sort of magical power. It's situated in the placid, sweet village of Hilton, where the working class are quietly happy, and is imbued with an ability to bend time. The housekeeper, on first seeing Margaret, believes her to be the young Mrs. Wilcox.
He took you for Ruth Wilcox.
I like Mrs. Wilcox.
You have her way of walking.
And the Schlegels' furniture fits strangely well. This odd attribute reflects the views of its original owner, Ruth Wilcox. For her, the past is another part of the present.
To the west of the house, just beyond the chestnut tree, in the paddock where the pony used to be.
Where's the pony gone?
The pony, oh, dead ever so long ago.
There's a cultivated sense that this place is removed from time, a quiet space which the vicissitudes of social change cannot reach. In a sense, the film Howard's End has similar powers itself. As Ruth stares into the building and into her life, we look into the film and see our own. We don't imagine ourselves as Leonard Bast, feeling our hearts explode under the weight of our own ambition, to be carried out of the way under an anonymous white sheet. We want to return as Ruth Wilcox, dirtying our gowns in the evening dew of moonlit grass. This is the tendency of heritage cinema, to sideline the poor, ignore social problems, and portray the past as beautiful and good, even when the events and people on screen are inherently backwards and old-fashioned. The film seeks to construct an illusory past of opulence to placate the current pains, both of the filmmakers at the time and us now, just like the pig's teeth stuck into the bark of a tree that create a folkloric painkiller. Unfortunately, it's nothing but superstition, an illusion of the admittedly beautiful Howard's End, and for the basts of our world, it can't serve as anything other than a fatal distraction.